just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. Once I get in and I put it in try, ain't no more stopping me, don't even try. Controlling the chaos, controlling the fire. Yeah, that's all the shots that you don't take. You'll never be heard if you don't say. Just gotta get out your own way. You can't learn to fly on your own if you don't let go. Step out of the shadows, into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you're made for. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming in. I am. Oh, I hope so. I hope so, Mark, because I was reading the other day that they've limited some of the testimony from him having his previous financial crimes admitted. So this is going to be a trial. We were talking about this the other night. It's going to look completely different than the last trial. It's going to be a good one to watch, because especially any of us that watched everything with the first one. So I have a feeling too. I think the jury got it right the first time. And what I wonder is if he's going to testify this time, because I think that was his detriment. Like if the nails weren't already in the coffin, him up there with his drippy nose and the nodding and that just totally turned me off. And I wonder if cousin Eddie's gonna have. And see, now a lot of those, like, we've got what was his name? Was it LaSalle? Got his testimony on a playlist, but that his banker friend, he got in trouble. He's in prison. So there's been a lot that's happened in this last 3 years. So if you're coming in, please do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button for me, and hit the subscribe if you haven't yet. Today I am going to be going. I've been promising everybody I was going to play the court appearance from Alex Murdaugh the last time. It's about an hour long. Got a trial date. And if you're new here, a lot of times we go over true crime while I attempt to create nail art, because that's my business. And hi, Tut Girl, happy 4th of July. And you can see my skin and nail products all for sale at www.clawsbycutsy.com. Let me put that in there. And I still, because it's 4th of July and it's the 250th anniversary, I left our 20% off discount. And that code is all caps at checkout. And that'll give you 20% off your entire order. So yeah, if you feel like zipping over there and peeking at stuff, or just want a window shop, oh yeah, I could do that too. Honestly, I could make you some really cool. I think we just invented something, Mark. Like designer nails for carpenters. Think about it. Think about people. Some of the stuff that people do in their houses, some of these mansions and stuff. we're gonna be rich. We're gonna be rich. So before I get into all of this, I did want to just give an update on a story um out of Aiken, South Carolina. There was that little girl that went missing the other day, 4 years old, autistic, and I woke up this morning and found out that um her parents now have both been arrested for her murder. They have not found her yet. Um, Aiken County, South Carolina, authorities say the parents of a 4-year-old child at the center of a major search in Aiken County have been arrested in connection with her disappearance and presumed death. In an announcement he called the hardest he'd made in 36 years in law enforcement, Sheriff Marty Sawyer said on Saturday that the parents of Javea Harris were arrested in connection with her death, even as the search for her body continues. The sheriff said 23-year-old Jomaria Harris and Michaela Herring were arrested and charged with homicide by child abuse and filing a false report with more charges possible. Sawyer said investigators now believe Javea had been dead for at least a month before her disappearance was reported to 9/11 on June 30th. It was already too late to save Javea, he said. However, authorities said the search became a recovery and criminal investigation when a separate off-site team determined she was no longer in the neighborhood. The sheriff's office announced on Friday that it was scaling back operations in the neighborhood where Javea went missing, but vowed the search wouldn't end until the child was found. Oh, I love that, Mark. Boom, boom, ching. Um, but yeah, this is horrible. I'm just getting tired of every day waking up to another bum parent who can't even give their kids the basic things that they need, which is, food, love, and a roof over their head. Hey, Gina Tay, happy 250th. So I just wanted to update everybody on this. Hello, Warrior Princess. How you doing? Yeah, I just wanted to update everybody on that. I know that there's been a lot of people following it. Anytime a child goes missing, everybody in the true crime community is, radar up. So it's just sad. But at least, thank goodness, they have the parents, and it's sick, and I'm tired of these people. Tired of it, tired of it, tired of it. And especially if any of you are new here, I do have an autistic son, so that hits a little bit even more home for me because I get it. It's tough some days, but you just, I don't know. I look at my kids, and even though I joke around about, oh, I'm going to drop you off somewhere or something, I never in a million years heard a hair on their head. So yeah, I don't get it. So let's get on to something that, oh, let me see if I can, did I load it up? What did I do? Here he is. Okay. So, I'm going to try something today. And I'm just going to ask that you guys kind of ride the wave with me. Because I don't know if I can attempt this, but this is Tino Vo, and this is just a short real quick. And, he's going to, I'm going to show you what the nail inspiration that we're doing today is going to be, or what I'm attempting. Just a second. Gotta do this too. I'm streaming on Rumble too. I think I am, at least. So there. Okay. I just had to put that up. So let's go to Tino, and just now you're gonna laugh because his voice, he's kind of funny. Like, he cracks me up. He does press on nails and acrylic nails and all that stuff. But this is going to be my inspiration. And then we'll get on to Alex Murdaugh. Oh, yes, Barry Morphew. Yep. That is another one that's going to be really interesting. I agree. Ooh, okay, you got to hear his voice because it's not the same without his voice.
Bango inspired set, and it's gonna be drippies. So I start out with a drip
Hey, Palm Queen. Good to see ya.
pattern and painted white on the bottom half of the tips. Now use red art gel and we are going to make a red and white pattern on the tips. On the nail bed, I am outlining it with ultramarine art gel, and then after outlining it, I am going to color in the whole things. Now first I matte everything, then you shine the top coat to shine just the blue to create contrast between the two colors. And I use white art gel to paint the stars because art gel can go without top coat if you apply thin enough. And of course, we are painting.
And did you notice how he didn't really actually show himself painting the stars? So I'm going to call bull on those because those are perfect. And I can't do stars that perfect, but I've got a little cheat stuff going on over here too. Alex still has many years to serve one way or another. And that's just it. He still has, what is it, 40 years for the financial crimes. One of the things I was reading though is that it will make the difference on where he is staying and like prison wise. Like, so he could kind of be in a lot easier prison for just the financial crimes, kind of Club Med kind of a thing versus being, in with like Charles Manson's and stuff like that. So that's going to be and then there is the death penalty that's been kind of tossed around. So, I'm telling you, I cannot wear nails like these. Yeah, didn't he just glossed right over it like it was nothing? There's a lot of cheats I think that he does. That's the same thing with that blooming gel. They all make it look so easy, and I'm over here like creating wrinkles trying to get it to work. So
painting Jerry on these fingers. The stem is ultramarine blue and we use in clear embossed jelly to make the Jerry pop. This is a fun set for July 4, you guys. And check out the pinky. It's like an ice cream where it have red and blue detail on it. Happy July 4, everyone.
Now I swear he stole my ice cream idea because I sold last year a whole set of ice cream cone inspired nails. Each one was a different flavor. So I'm gonna call stolen on that just to make myself feel better. But so this is what I'm gonna try to do because we only have like an hour and then I gotta get the rest of the food out and all that stuff. And I'm gonna try the flag nail and the ice cream cone one because I know I've got the colors and stuff to do that. So I'll get set up while I've got most everything set up, but I'll get that all completely set up while I start the Alex Murdaugh stuff. But Tino Vo, I've got his link in the description if you want to follow him. He does do some awesome stuff. I mean, this guy's an artist. Like they're not like Mark said, they're weapons, but for me, I'm a mom, they're not doable workable nails. That'd be something like for a costume or something maybe, but there are women that now I used to wear my nails extremely, extremely long. Like my manicurist wouldn't even trim them really back when I was younger and I didn't have any children to rip them off. So but I love doing these because there's so much. The girl that did my nails loved it when I kept them long because it's like a canvas, and the more real estate you have, the cooler stuff you can put on a nail. So I'm telling you, that's the thing too. Well, and that's something that that we used to laugh with a couple clients that they talked about when they go out, they would like make sure that they sharpened their nails before they went out like clubbing or anything like that, just in case anybody got any idea. Boink right in the eye, I mean oh my gosh, people, I'm telling you. So let me find good old Alex. Now, this is a new judge, and I think I kind of like her. I love her accent. She's really kind of just down to it. She's not gonna She doesn't sound like she's she doesn't sound like she puts up with any bull, you know? And she's gonna keep this trial going. And that's what I like. I hate it when there's all these like lulls and slow parts and nobody needs that. We don't have time for that. Right? We don't have time. Okay, I'm gonna start this. Do I? Oh, nope, I don't have it up. And then, so I'm working off 2 windows because I finally figured out that that's what was going on with my stuff that was when it was like lagging while it streamed. I have to have it in 2 different windows. And if I don't, then all hell breaks loose. So so here we go. I got the cam up. I'm going to get everything, the rest of the stuff set, and I will start this. And feel free, keep talking while it, in the chat. I'm still going to be looking at the chat. If it's not a great place to pause, then I will, I'll type and answer you back in the chat. So, and thanks for coming in, guys. Thank you so much. I know it's 4th of July, so right, here we go.
We have a full house. Good morning.
I love her. I think I love her already.
For those of you who've never been to Lexington County, welcome to the Lexington County Courthouse. Please. Can I get you podcast? Are you ready to call it? Can you call it? Give it right back to me. All right, we're here for a status conference. I'm going to get the clerk to call the case, please.
In the matter of State of South Carolina versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, indictment number 2022 GS 15-00592 through 595.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Waters, how are you?
Good morning, Your Honor. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Now, let me ask you, I know some of your counsel at the table, but I don't know all of them. Can you please just let me know who the state's team is?
So I have David Fernandez, Assistant Deputy Attorney General David Fernandez. He's my number 2 in the state grand jury section. I have my boss, Mr. Don Zelenka.
I know.
We have John Metters as well.
I know Mr. Matters.
See, Your Honor. They see at various times. We have.
And I know I love Creighton Waters, and I know that this is serious, but I always feel like when I'm watching one of these trials in the Deep South like this, like I feel like I'm watching a John Grisham novel, Well, I mean, in this case, kind of was. Yeah, can you believe it, Palm Queen? I was sitting there thinking about that the other day. I'm like, wow, it doesn't seem like it's been that long.
Attorney General Walt Whitmire, Senior Assistant Deputy Attorney General Melody Brown.
All right, welcome. Let me, Mr. Harpooling, can you tell me, I think I know just about everybody at your table, maybe not everybody, but can you introduce the defense?
Please report, Your Honor. This is Jim Griffin.
Mr. Griffin?
Bill Barber.
Mr. Barber, good to have you. Okay. I've made some notes on a status conference, and I'll let y'all talk in just a little bit. But I want to go over what I want to go over.
He absolutely did. He thought he was untouchable being in Colleton County, and not so much, huh? He thought his name and his family's reputation, not his, but would save him. And nope, not this time.
Because I want to make sure that all the discovery in this case is complete. And I made some notes, and let me tell y'all, I don't know anything about the first trial, so when you tell me something, please be complete. when you tell me, because don't assume that I know, because I don't. I want to know about phone records. Do we have all the phone records, and are they complete? Text messages, cell phone extractions, and if there's any supplemental extractions, video recordings, whether there's ballistic firearms, are we complete in that? Fingerprints, toxicology. I think there was a blood splatter expert last time. I just want to know where we are with these discovery items. I'll let the state address that, please.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor. So we have provided, and obviously provided well in advance of the first trial, a very extensive discovery. I'm not aware of anything in the items that you mentioned that have not been provided to the defense. And if anything, the defense has more the state does, because a very heavy privilege review was done, for example, on Murdaugh's phone, and formerly being an attorney and that sort of thing. So it's my understanding, complete extraction was provided to them, whereas the prosecution team, the investigative team, only received the privilege review, some kind of extraction as it relates to his phone and that sort of thing. As always, we are constantly auditing and looking at everything, but I'm not aware of any discovery from the very extensive productions that were made, not only from just the murder investigations, but also from the very extensive state jury investigations as well. So we have provided those, and obviously, I'm not aware of anything in the categories that you mentioned that have not been provided to us.
And not anything that needs to be reanalyzed or anything that the court would be waiting on.
Just gonna pause it right here real quick. Oh yeah, I think that the boat accident was what he was afraid of, bringing everything to light. And we've seen, which I still can't, I'm gonna find that interview. It was an interview talking about with the drugs and the partying and all of that, like women that talked about him getting rough with them. And I think that if that boat accident never happened, he would have been caught eventually because his wife was catching on. But this probably would have turned out very, very different. Well, and that's exactly it. Yeah, he was probably a decent guy until he wasn't. Exactly. Until it just got, while everything was going his way. But, we see it all the time. When you live that way, you can't sustain that lifestyle, not physically, not mentally, not financially, none of it. And it all caught up to him. And like so that boat accident, he was going to lose a lot of money, and they were going to Tinsdale was going to start going through all of his financials, and they were going to find all of that stuff. And I think in his mind, if that boat accident had never happened, then he could have, like he had in the past, kind of figured it out and finagled his way out of it before anyone caught him. So, okay, I'm going to flip on. I think you guys can see that. The claw cam. I'm just going to show you the products. I've got my striping brush, my small little nail art brush, my dotting tools with the large dotter and the small one. And I've got red from the Gelish, ASP, the blue, that is, I can't read. Blue Who is what it's called. Pure white from Gelish, my favorite soak off top coat, and the matte like he talked about. And then I've got the two tan colors over here to try and do the ice cream cone. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to do it a little bit differently than he does because I don't know about coloring in the lines. I've had probably half a pot of coffee already today. So, and my little one has been running around screaming all morning. So my hands are, I got the jitters, but we will get this done. And just remember, it's a process. So you're allowed to make fun of me in chat. I'm totally fine with that. But just know it's a process, and we'll get as close as humanly possible without, I have to make it unique, right? I have to make it a little bit mine. So, woo. Okay, here we go. That's in the press conference. They were talking about that, and they're like, well, there is no money. I think, I don't know. And another thing is, I guess no family showed up for this, which kind of surprised me. Like, not even Buster. So, are these guys just? Are these? What I'm wondering is, they're like all like these documentaries and things like that. Are they getting money off of that? I was just gonna say, yep, book deals and movie deals, because he can't profit from his crime. But could they have them like put like in Buster's name or something like that, or put in a trust, and then that go to the lawyers to pay them off? Because I mean, shoot, like we talked about the other day, a week and a half after his last court appearance before this, when they did their press conference, it was literally a week and a half, and Netflix already had what they called out now an Insta doc. Okay, an Insta doc, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember to put comments up on the screen because I know I'm dual streaming in both um vertical and horizontal, and so not everybody sees the comments. Just so you know, if you're thinking what in the world is she talking about, it means I saw somebody in the other, because it does two different chats, and that really I wish it would just mush them all together. I don't care if it counts it all as one stream, and I don't, if it has to like divide the views or whatever. I just want the same chat so everybody can see each other. Yeah, he can't profit from his crimes, but if they put that, like, say he signs the rights over to like Buster, or if it's technically Buster is, like his power of attorney or his financial durable power of attorney, something like that, that he could sign it over and then have them, because remember, that's why he tried to stage that roadside shooting, was to give Buster the insurance policy money. So I'm just wondering, I mean, if anybody's going to figure that out. Oh, thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. I always forget to say that. I say it at the beginning and then it's like, psh, gone. If anybody's going to figure it out, it's going to be these guys to figure out some way of, just they're defense attorneys. They're criminal defense attorneys, so, and I shouldn't say that. I've got a family full of attorneys and I love them to death, but they're a different breed. So they just are.
At this time, no. Now, as you're aware, and we, of course, sent our responses to everyone last night to the defense motions that were filed late last week. Came in the office Sunday to write those. One of those is their request for independent testing on DNA. So we put it in our motion, and I actually got an email from Mr. Griffin this morning that if they want to have their defense expert reach out to SLED as to specifically what capabilities they think they have and what they're proposed to do, happy to facilitate those conversations and discuss those with the defense and then with your honor if necessary. Right now, that's kind of where we stand on that. And of course, any other issues that arise along those lines, we're very reasonable and we're perfectly willing to discuss those with the defense. And if there's something that we can't agree on, obviously we'll raise those to you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Harpootlian or Mr. Griffin?
I want to address everything but the DNA issue.
Right, I'll talk about the DNA later.
So we don't know what we don't know. And I'll give you an example. Let me hand this up to your honor and hand copies to.
Well, and there's been something else too going on. I'm just you can see I'm just painting the bottom. I'm using that tan color, the lighter color to paint for we're going to do the ice cream cone one first. But there's something about also some new evidence as far as some DNA under Maggie's fingernails. Oh, I loved Judge Newman. I loved him, especially his closing to Alex Murdaugh. I hope they come to you in the night. Like, with that voice and those words, that was just haunting. Haunting.
Your Honor, this is a transcript of an interview done with a guy named Chapman and another officer who were folks that arrived on the scene to begin with, to process the scene, and we're very involved in the forensics of processing the scene. And if you go to page 6, Chapman, who's in charge of the scene, says this. This is a television interview on March 13th, 10 days after the verdict in this case. He says, in response to a question, I believe you had some help in the aftermath. Or Rutland, yes. Captain Chapman, you know, the disposal of weapons, the moving around a vehicle. We heard so much about SLED and AG's office, they don't have anything. It's all circumstantial. So I pose this question to you. It was a clean crime scene, stage crime scene, clean crime scene. Would you expect to find more evidence or less? And that's what's kind of hard to get people to understand, is we didn't find a lot. But why we didn't find a lot? Because it was clean. I mean, it was manipulated. There's evidence removed from the scene. Now, this is 10 days after the trial. This is not what Chapman testified to. And if Chapman has evidence, there were other people at the scene that he had assistance under their theory, or there were.
And didn't the brother go and clean up at least the area where Paul was? I thought that was part of the issue too, that he had talked about that in court, that he was going to do something and he just started cleaning, couldn't stop himself, kind of a thing. Like, just that way, I'm mixing this a little bit lighter color to give like a shadow effect. So we'll see if that works or not. But I do remember that. And that's another thing I think they're going to discuss too, is that him being able to wear street clothes for the trial. Now, I thought that was just a right of everyone that goes up in front of a jury trial, because they don't want like that subliminal message to go to the jury that you're guilty already before you've even spoken or anything or defended yourself because of the prison outfit. But that seems to be one of the things that they want, that they're requesting, that he can, wear regular clothes. See, I think so too. I actually feel really bad for Buster as far as, having to defend this, standing by his dad. It just, ugh.
Other people there. We need to have that furnished to us. And we have other witnesses that testified at trial are saying something totally different, indicating there's evidence to believe that somebody else was at the scene, or there were other people at the scene. I mean, this guy's the chief guy in charge of the scene, along with Rutland, who processed it that night. We need, and we're in the process of doing this to determine if they took those statements or the reports. So we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what we don't have. We need some period of time to try to process that. And Your Honor, I say this, and no emphasis on trying to, we're not alleging that the state has hidden anything from us. We do know there were people that came to see us that said they had important information. We have no ability to investigate anything. We don't have subpoenas, we don't have a grand jury, we don't have search warrants. And 2 or 3 of those people we sent to SLED. Did they follow up? One had extraordinary evidence about a tie-in between Paul's murder and the murder of a young man named Stephen Smith. But we had no, I can't compel anybody to come anywhere. We sent.
That wasn't Paul. That was Buster, with Stephen Smith. Right? Yeah. Oh, that would be awkward, Mark. Okay. That would be called really bad luck. But no, Stephen Smith was Buster. That wasn't Paul. Because that was one of the rumors, was that, that was one of the rumors that possibly Stephen and Paul, I mean, like town rumors. Nothing was ever proven. And Buster's married now and everything, but that he and Stephen Smith possibly had something going, and Buster was afraid to find out. Then they thought it was like his baseball crew that possibly did it. but not Paul. I didn't think Paul was involved in any of that.
That this way. Did they investigate it? Have they investigated? And I must tell you, there are a lot of pieces of information out there that, and maybe they just stopped once they got the conviction, didn't do anything else, that it's inconsistent with our desire to get a conviction, have the conviction held. So they didn't follow it up. Maybe it does need to be followed up, but we're going to have to go back and look at all of that. We're going to have to determine whether or not additional material developed since the trial. And of course, all of us were shocked by the court report's conduct in the trial. I know we were, I know the state was.
Okay, that's so like the little sister going like, okay, I know big sister did this and it was really, really bad. And we are just appalled at what happened. Like that. Come on, Dick.
But it's caused us to go back and look at, and we haven't done a thorough check of all the testimony and read it all, not in the sense of an appeal, which we've done, but in the sense of, in criminal cases, we don't have depositions. We don't have them here. We have a transcript of but not every, I'm sure they're going to get rid of some of these witnesses that are horrible first time around and get additional witnesses. But most of the witnesses, we have their transcript, their deposition. We need to go back and read all of that. So we need to get a sense of how you process, like you would in a civil case. So I can't say that we've got it all. I can't say that we don't have it all.
He lied and stole the settlement. What he did was he had them sue his house insurance company through another lawyer. And Corey, I can't remember what it was, but it's because he couldn't be their attorney because it would have been conflict of interest. But so what he did is he had his friend sue the homeowner insurance, got these boys who are both the one brother who is definitely on the spectrum takes care of the other brother, and they finally got that, but he stole all that, and that was part of the money, and he was actually using that money to pay off loans.
Again, I don't know what I don't know, but I think we will be very diligent. And one of the other things we talked about.
And I'm just going to follow along. So I did those in a lighter brown, and I'm going to follow along them. It's supposed to kind of make it look like a shadow, so it's kind of 3D-ish, if that makes sense. So we'll see if that works out.
Murdaugh's access to that information in a way that makes it convenient for him and doesn't inconvenience anybody else. We'll talk about that. That's another motion. We'll talk about that.
I'll get to your motions in just a little bit. What I really want to know is about phone records, text messages, cell phones, video recordings, toxicology, fingerprints. You have all that discovery.
We're not sure, but we need to review it as if we were getting ready as brand new. I can't. We looked at it 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Doesn't mean we know we have it. We'll be diligent in doing that, but certainly I would think it'll take us some period of time to review that.
Yeah, I'll start out in the trial.
Right. One of the points reminding me, we did not have OnStar data on Mr. Murdaugh's vehicle until halfway through the trial. That is not the attorney general's call. That is.
Now, the OnStar data, I remember that, and I've got the testimony of that guy. So we're going to do that one of these days next week and listen to that. It's a longer one. And thank you, Mark. Yeah, I was glued to the TV watching this. I had a baby under a year old, and so we just sat and did his tummy time every day and watched the Murdaugh trial.
GNC's fault for not furnishing it. We had to do that on the run. We want to go back and analyze that, have an expert analyze that even more. I do want to emphasize the Attorney General got it at the same time we got it. No inference to anything improperly.
Okay.
So part of what we need to do, we need to hire additional experts based on some of the views we now have on some of the witnesses, both the state and the defense have. And they need to examine those reports to determine whether we have it. So it's going to take a little bit of time, Judge. I can't tell you today we have everything because we don't know.
Okay. Let me ask you, Mr. Waters, what about the OnStar data? Do you have all of that?
Yes, ma'am. So, Your Honor, we actually SLED had sent 2 search warrants to GM well in advance of the trial, and we're told we ain't got none. And I think what happened was during the course of the trial, we actually had the FBI buy a Suburban and essentially reverse engineer the black box in the Suburban in order to provide us telemetry coverage. Of course, it's all provided to the defense. I think when that testimony came out during trial, somebody at GM was watching and they were like, uh-oh. And so in the middle of the trial, I get a phone call saying, you know, about all that OnStar data, actually, we got a bunch of it. We immediately advised the judge, advised the defense, provided that to a usual form. They assisted and agreed to go forward because we each had our theories about what had happened next. So that was nothing with the fault of the state, and we immediately engaged in what we needed to do to ensure the defense had access to all that information.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you for coming in, Princess Warrior. Yep, I love true crime too. True crime and beauty. This like what this kind of reminds me of is when I used to work outside of my home when I worked in a salon, and this is what we talked about all day, the true crime cases, and we'd get all of our clients coming in giving us their theories, and so that's when I created my channel. I kind of wanted that, just everybody coming in, and we'd get like the husbands and the boyfriends coming in, and I had to have a chair sitting next to my station because we'd get the boyfriends and the husbands coming in, and they'd want to sit and listen and get in the conversation and everything. So, and so far so good on the ice cream cone. Just FYI.
To him saying, we don't know what we don't know. Well, I know my obligations are, and if I have knowledge of something that's disclosable, then it's been disclosed. And so to imply that there's something out there, I mean, we're always constantly auditing that and doing our obligations, but I take discovery obligations very, very seriously. And that's what our group knows that. As far as these musings, I haven't watched this TV interview. The musings of some captain about, whether the scene was clean. Well, there was evidence presented at trial that there was standing water on the concrete pad of the kennels. That the hose was not put back the way that it normally was coiled by the person who was in charge of taking care of those kennels. So he may have been talking about that, but ultimately, while Colleton responded initially, the scene actually was in charge of being processed by SLED, and they've had access to all that information. So to sit here and imply we don't know what we don't know. Well, I'll recognize that, but I know that my obligation is to provide that information to the defense. And if I'm aware of it, then it's been provided. And we have done that. They've had it since well before the original trial, and we will continue to do that. And as he freely recognizes, the OnStar data came in late despite our best efforts, and immediately disclosed to them. They had every opportunity to process that information, and then they agreed, you know what? Let's continue on. So that's not any sort of indication of a bad process or practice on both sides.
So the bottom line is they have everything that you have.
To my knowledge, yes, ma'am, and we were very careful about going through all that discovery.
And you don't know of anything else that needs to be analyzed at this time?
Well, again, we have that
The
DNA.
DNA, and I'm gonna get to DNA in just a moment.
Of course, it was analyzed ahead of time. Now, what we're
Right.
talking about is some additional capability. And as I expressed in our motion, and Mr. Griffin has responded, I'm happy to facilitate discussions. And if there's some capability.
I just wanted to say real quick, I am going to be doing this ice cream cone I'm going to be doing it in matte. But one of the little tricks I learned years ago was if you're going to do a matte finish, always do a gloss top coat over top of it first. Then you will get that super, because matte shows every little dent, every little whatever. You'll get that nice smooth finish for your matte. And then I've got a little trick I'm going to do for the ice cream too before we finish that. So, oh yeah, no, thanks for coming on in. Nope, I like it. I like being a smaller channel, and I don't know how some of those guys do it when they've got like. I was watching somebody the other day and they had 30,000 people in their chat. And I'm like, oh, like that just, I don't know. I had 150 in here one night and I started sweating. So, no, I love the more the merrier. I love everybody that comes in here. We have some really good discussions and things like that. But yeah, I'm not ready for all that yet.
Out there that's beyond the capability of SLED, and it has a reasonable chance of providing some sort of analysis, then we're happy to do that. Now, of course, if we put in our motion, ultimately there's absolutely no evidence that Maggie Murdaugh was in a struggle with anyone, that she had any sort of defensive wounds, that she was scratched to any sort of attacker. And then we also know that it's very common how sensitive touch DNA is. We're constantly shedding DNA and picking up DNA from others by shaking hands and doorknobs and all the rest of it. So, this is a bit of a red herring, but that doesn't mean that we are not willing to discuss with the defense anything that they want to do. And if reasonable, we'll be the first to do that. And if that needs to come back to this court, we'll do that as well.
Okay, thank you. Sure.
We know.
No, I wasn't off, but I got about almost 2 months ago. They had like a big sweep and I got demonetized. And as soon as I got demonetized, like all of a sudden, like it quit putting my videos out. I wasn't getting any views. I wasn't anything. And now for whatever reason, I'm starting to kind of go back out into the river. But so I just kind of sat over here and did my thing and hoped I'd see people come back. And I am slowly but surely. So I get to reapply for all my stuff. I was really upset because I lost all my stickers. I had all those really cool stickers and emojis that we could use. But I mean, I concentrate more on my business and my website than like making money off YouTube because I just like doing the true crime stuff, But yeah, so no, I was here, just nobody could see me.
In testimony in the first trial, the chief SLED officer involved admitted he misrepresented things to the grand jury. Since the trial, the case was dismissed, in which he testified because the judge found he was hiding evidence and misrepresenting that. That's the chief officer. No other SLED. But it raises questions with us, not whether it's been withheld by the state, by the prosecution, but did he give them everything he had? Did he do what he did in the subsequent case after the trial where he had evidence? And I think we've got to go through it and look and say, are there gaps here? Are we missing something? And for us, and look, we want to try this case as quickly as possible. No question about it. But what we don't want to do is not be prepared based on what we now know happened at the first trial. And we'll have a motion probably next week to expand on that a little bit. We didn't feel we wanted such a motion to this.
Well, and I don't. I really wanted to go over and see where we were with discovery. I want to set a timeline. I want to set out some pretrial conferences, and I want to.
I'll say this too real quick. I'll show you how I do my drips with ice cream and stuff. I take my dotting tool and I'm not gonna do it not all of them real far. But that's how I started out, and then I'm gonna drag it up. But yeah, no, I don't understand that. Like, I'm never going to ask you to pay for me to go on a boots on the ground vacation. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere, okay? I'm an armchair detective and an armchair pretend lawyer. That's what I am.
At a trial date. That's why we're here today. And I want to go over some of these motions. I think some of them are not substantive that I could go ahead and rule on those today and be done. And I will set up a pretrial. I'll give y'all some dates and hope you brought your calendars. And we'll set a pretrial. I don't know that one pretrial is going to do it for this case. We'll probably have several. And that's fine. The court's amenable to anything that y'all need. And happy to hear what you have. If you find something, Mr. Harpoolian, that you need to bring to the court's attention and you want to file a motion, I am more than happy to hear it. Okay? All right, so let me move on to my next notes. And we've kind of touched on it a little bit. Experts. Do you know how long? And the reason I'm just asking is because I do want to set a trial date. Believe it or not, overnight when I was assigned this case became the oldest case on my docket. And anybody who knows me knows that I will move an old case. And I intend to do that with this one.
See, this is what I like about this judge. She's not going to sit there and let this thing just drag out, you know? Hey, I love anybody with a good sense of humor. Everything's got a price, right? That's my boyfriend right there, my fiance. That's my money man. Which, by the way, driver, when you get a second, I need you to check on the chicken and squish it around in the bag. Oh, she does. But man, I like her. She's going to keep stuff moving.
So I'm asking Mr. Waters, expert witnesses, do you know how long you need to get expert witnesses and talk to people and get everything that you need for the prosecution of this case?
Yes, ma'am. So the vast majority of our experts will be with SLED. And so I think that, we are ready within reason, of course, to move this as expeditiously as possible. We do have another expert who testified from the FBI and things like that, but much of that is the same. And so as far as the state's position as to scheduling, and I know we've already sort of stated this publicly, that we were trying to do this before the end of the year, like towards the end of the year, we're ready to go. About that. And so I'm not aware on the state side of any expert issues that provide for additional delay.
All right, Mr. Harpoolian, how about for the defense?
John, we have 8 expert witnesses. All of them are new. All of them are just beginning to get the information they need. The DNA, when we are told, may take up to 6 months. It is, unlike what's been represented by the state, critical. And Mr. Griffin will address the specifics of that in just a moment. But to try this case this year, you guys were talking about going to the death penalty 4 months ago or 3 months ago.
Oh, here he's going to talk about the death penalty right here, because that was one of the things that the state prosecutor had kind of hinted around that they might be putting up. Hey, $5 will still get me 2 of the McDonald's fried pies and a large Coke. So I'm good with $5 too. And just before I start this too, what I'm going to do, my little trick I'm going to show is I want this ice cream to have kind of a like a crystally, like ice cream is. So what I've got here is I've got clear and white acrylic powder and a little bit of like sparkly fairy dust in it to make it kind of cool looking. So just so you know, when you see me doing that, that's what this is. But first I'm going to matte top coat the whole thing.
Try it before the end of the year. Cannot be done for us to be adequately prepared. And we talked about the laptop. Without the laptop, we can't try it next year. If we have to go down there.
Oh, Andy's talking about the laptop. And if anybody, I don't know if any of you guys remember this, but Alex was caught. I believe it was like an OnlyFans account or something like that, sending emails back and forth on his prison tablet of him without a shirt on, which I unfortunately did see that. I cannot unsee it, and I'm now traumatized. So maybe that's what I'll do next. I'll bring a civil lawsuit for eye blindness of having to see Alec Murdaugh pasty white without a shirt on. Okay. Because nobody deserves that. Okay. I'm just gonna say that right now. Ugh.
And taking the bank box at a time to review documents. Almost 20,000 pages of documents. So we came up with a way to
Well, surely, Mr. Harpootlian, he reviewed those before his first trial, did he not?
5 years ago. I mean, it's just a judge. I can't remember a case I tried 3 months ago, and the material's on there. It's ridiculous to require him, with all due respect, to require him to have a memory of each document that he looked at almost 5 years ago. And by the way, our solution to that, contrary to Mr. Waters' motion, is ironclad. There's no chance of it being distributed. We'll give them a laptop that's encrypted, since there's no attorney-client on it. Corrections can look at it. SLED can look at it. Anybody can look at it. And let him look at it without us having to take hard copies of stuff down there and review it with him. You can't leave it with him under the court order. But you just can't take him to discovery and leave it with the court order prohibiting that. And I'm sure the warden does not want boxes and boxes of stuff sitting in his. But if we have that, and he could be reviewing these documents and experts as we're reviewing them. I mean, let's not forget, he's a lawyer. Now, he's a disbarred lawyer, but he has probably more trial experience than many of the folks on either side of the court. So he understands what he's looking at much better than any client I've ever had. So I think it's important, if you're going to try to expedite this, for him to have, and we can talk about the laptop separately, but that's going to be a condition. It's going to take us at least 6 months to get these folks retained, have them look at the adequate material, look at the state's testimony the first time around, and of course, if they have a change in who they're using or taking a different approach, we need to know that as soon as possible. I would point out that they were giving us discovery in the last case after the first week of trial, in the second week of trial. So we can't have that happen again. If they say they've got it all, we're going to assume we have it all unless they want to supplement it. They supplement it sooner rather than later. That allows us to try. I mean, I think what we probably ought to try to do is figure out a trial date and then back up from that. And what we're comfortable with is late spring, early summer next year.
Okay.
We can live with that. Given, I mean, if we have to go down there, one of us has to go down there 5 days a week, and you know, incarcerated on the map, so it's 2.5 hours. It's a half an hour to get in. So before they even see it, it's 3 hours. And then you only have 3 hours with them, and then it's a 3-hour trip back. That's why the laptop is so important.
Okay. Mr. Griffin, anything you'd like to add as to experts?
I have been in contact with the DNA lab in Houston. I can talk more about that. But when I mentioned that, you know, they were asked, how soon do you need it? And I said, well, hopefully we're looking at a spring, early summer trial date. And the answer was, well, we need to put a rush on it. And I can talk more about the lab if Your Honor wants to hear it. I mean, they are
I'll get to the DNA in just a minute. And then we'll go forward on that.
Casper had a tan compared to this man. Okay. I mean, and I know he's in prison, but they get rec time. Okay. Like, ugh. Not even a farmer's tan, like nothing.
All right. Let me talk about this computer at the Department of Corrections. I did receive your response, Mr. Waters, yesterday at 5. Did you get the opportunity to look at that, Mr. Harpelian?
Yes.
I mean, basically, I just made myself some notes. You were concerned about the state grand jury material and talked about a protective order and some other issues. I agree about there are some sensitive issues. The state grand jury material is protected and should be protected. And then you mentioned an order that Judge Newman had. I kind of think, Mr. Waters, that when this case was reversed, that order goes out the window and we might need a new order for this case. It's my understanding that the order stated that the grand jury material is secret. And I mean, that's pretty straightforward. And I know that you would like to prohibit the digital dissemination of the state grand jury material, that there's no photocopying, scanning. I breezed through this. You don't want any digital copies. And all of this, while it doesn't prohibit the defendant from reviewing the case materials, you want the attorneys to make sure that they keep in their possession the state grand jury material. Is there any objection to that, Mr. Harpelian?
Well, yeah. Your Honor, the issue of that is what is the state grand jury material? I think, if we can designate what that is. It's beyond grand jury testimony, there's very little of that in the discovery. I think they've gotten things through grand jury subpoenas that have been produced, underlying records and whatnot. And so, is that really sensitive grand jury material? And some of us introducing evidence at the trial, I'm sure of that. But so no question about grand jury testimony. We have no issues with that. But it's just hard to say what exactly are grand jury materials when a lot of the subpoenaed documents and information have been produced.
And Your Honor, if the issue is dissemination, I mean, he has a right to read it.
Oh, absolutely. I said that. It does not prohibit him from reading it.
The issue is dissemination. I mean, we're just basically talking about a big Kindle. You can read on it. You can't send emails. It's not connected digitally or cell or Wi-Fi to anybody. It can be, let me say this, the Department of Corrections has been extraordinarily professional in dealing with us, giving us access to them. But no complaints with them whatsoever. What we'd like that laptop with the warden and corrections have total access to it. It can be inspected by SWED to make sure it can't transmit the image, a message, can't be used in any way. There is no Wi-Fi at this particular institution. So it has to be by self-service. And these are not difficult technical issues. And if they're concerned about grand jury testimony, we have to take that out. That's a lower plan of what we want him to look at. And we can certainly do that separately with hard copy. We have to go out there and do that.
Well, let me tell you. Mr. Waters, let me hear from you first.
Yes, ma'am. So we really, as far as the protective order, we really have two things. There was the state grand jury investigation, and ultimately there was the standard protective order for that. He's pled guilty to all those offenses. There's nothing to reproach about that. But necessarily, as that state grand jury investigation was going, things came up that were ultimately relevant to the murder. So it was much bigger than they say. I don't have the number in front of me, Your Honor, but it was at least 20 witnesses, multiple subpoenas. And so all of this was in that ambit. And as well as Judge Newman issued a second, to my recollection, protective order as it related to just sort of the murder evidence as well. So they're two separate things, but they all blend together. And so all of this evidence is sensitive. On top of that, the murder evidence is in fact very, very sensitive. And frankly, we've been trying our best to protect it from improper dissemination because it's worth a lot of money. Now, one thing SCDC is adamantly opposed to, okay, is having an inmate have a laptop. They are absolutely 100% opposed to that. And I have to remind you that this is an individual who already had his tablet privileges taken away from misuse of that. This is an individual who was caught receiving contraband that was passed from a family member who was to him, kind of like guys. And so this is not a guy who is, and this is also a guy who's been convicted of over a decade of fraud. Now, they say that these things can be locked down and made safe in the laboratories. I understand these issues very well. As a state grand jury made a point to partner with SCDC to fight the problem of fraud and corruption emanating from there, and it's done with the use of devices. This is a very severe security issue, and no matter what protections are put in place, there's always ways around this, and SCDC has experience with that. So the fact remains is he's an inmate, and SCDC is adamantly opposed to there being some laptop that he has access to, including this idea that SLED is going to be able to review, attorney communications and work product on that. I don't understand how that's going to happen. Now, SCDC is happy to accommodate the defense and to any meetings they have. And no one says that the defense can't bring down digital evidence to review with them while it's under their supervision and then take it with them when they leave. That is absolutely the way it should be.
But they don't want to have to drive, and they don't want to have to take all that extra time because they're probably not sure if they're getting paid this time. That's just one of the ones that I oh, there, I forgot I was going to do that. I'm so sorry. I forgot to put this up on the screen. But oh, absolutely. I mean, it's wild to me. It's wild to me. But yeah, I think they bring that up though, but they did in the last hearing. I think they're going to bring that up about his clothing again too. I'm not positive though.
Ultimately, this information, whether state grand jury or not, is too sensitive to have an inmate, despite what protections are put in place, have a laptop, because frankly, the reality is inmates are constantly and successfully violating whatever protections are put in place. Despite everyone's best efforts, you're doing a great job. That's just the nature of it.
Okay. Sure.
I had a series of emails, and I don't see the Department of Corrections here today objecting. I had an email chain with the warden at the particular institution, and he doesn't raise those objections. He just, and we bring another laptop and can't have cellular or Wi-Fi capabilities. So, and that's what this says. So. And with all due respect to the Department of Corrections, if we don't get the ability, I mean, if Mr. Griffin and I, or Mr. Barber, or Ms. Fox have to go down there, 3 hours down, sit with them for 3 hours, 3 hours back, we're talking about at least the end of next year, if not the beginning of the following year, to get this support. We can't be working on experts, and we can't be interviewing witnesses while we're tied to sitting there and babysitting him while he's reading a laptop that doesn't have any capability to communicate or copy. And we'll be happy to have SLED inspected. We'll be happy to have the Department of Corrections inspected. But, the idea, we bring laptops in. We were given, as you can see, permission to bring laptops in. Laptops are brought in all the time. The question is, can he keep, not he, but can the warden keep it, or some office at the institution keep it and give it to him when he needs it. And Your Honor, I gotta say, the idea of bringing him in here chained up the idea of not letting him have access to a laptop, the idea of opposing everything we're trying to do.
Well, here we go. See everything. Poor Alex. Poor Alex. Oh, I think it does too. I think it does. It's got to. And all for what? You know, I mean, and granted, he was not thinking with a regular brain, but it just, it's never worth it, right? It's never worth it.
Expedite this process. I understand it's Mr. Waters' job to legally prejudice the defendant, but this is beyond the pale. This is beyond the pale. I'd ask you to remind Mr. Waters that he has an ethical duty to see that justice is done, not to get a conviction. Thank you.
Mr. Harper,
I don't.
And that,
Okay, we're not going to go there. But
and I have no intent to prejudice anything. Prejudice suggests a decision on an improper basis.
and the court doesn't take it that way, Mr. Waters.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, let me tell both of you. I took the liberty of calling the warden.
I think he was to some degree, but I think that he grew up very spoiled too. And he just didn't, you know, it's like all this stuff like with the Epstein files, and you see all these people that have more money than most of us could ever make in a lifetime. And it's like the more you have, when you can have everything you want, what you want in a lot of people just becomes even more and more and more. And it costs more, not only monetarily. Oh, not to this degree. No. I think that everything was just kind of like a stepping stone for this to happen. The drugs, the being able to go and do this, have the money to be able to go and pay for all of that. And, you know, a lot of us wouldn't be able to do that. And so I think that all kind of helped build who he was. And then once he got on substances, he just lost it. Exactly. Perfect storm. That's a great way to put it. Exactly.
And talking to him about the laptop situation. And because I too used to practice law, I remember terabytes of discovery that I had to carry to my clients to go see. And I know that it can be cumbersome, and I would imagine the discovery in this case is a lot. How many pages do we have, Mr. Waters?
It's very extensive. It's half a terabyte.
Half of a terabyte. Okay. I talked to the warden. He will not allow a laptop. And for safety reasons, he said he would, quote, make available a conference room. Counsel may bring their computer. They could have a law clerk come, or the attorneys could come themselves. They could look at it. He could review his discovery. They could bring their own laptop. However, somebody must be with him. His concern was having a laptop in his cell. And no other inmate has a laptop in their cell. They do have access to an iPad that has Westlaw on it. Now, I just have to be honest with you. I didn't even think about asking him if you could download any discovery on that iPad. I don't know if that's available, but I certainly will call and check and see if that's acceptable to him. If that's the case, I'm going to have Mr. Waters draw me up a proposed order on the state grand jury material. I haven't looked at Judge Newman's yet, but I will. Please run that proposed order by Mr. Harpoolian and Mr. Griffin. I will check on the downloading on an iPad, but I'm not going to allow him to have a laptop computer in his cell. It's for safety reasons. That's out of my control. I think it's not only for the safety of the others at the institution, but probably, Mr. Murdaugh, for your own safety. Okay.
We talked to the warden. We're not proposing he have it in his cell. We're proposing that the warden have it.
I thought that's what they said at first, though, that he wanted it in his cell so that he could go over legal documents. Like, and I think so. I think she's gonna be pretty no nonsense, and I really wondered when this all came about, because I really liked Judge Newman, but I think she's gonna do a good job at this one.
And give it to him to go to a conference room as he would with us to look at it there. Does that make a difference?
Well, I'll ask him. But when I read your email here, this seems like he could go to his cell. He could keep it in his cell. I know good and well that the warden is not going to allow that. I talked to him personally. Okay. We'll follow up on that in our next pretrial. Or if I can, I'll probably let you know before pretrial, but if he says no and it's for security reasons, then the answer is no. I'm not going to allow it. Do you understand, Mr. Harpelian? Mr. Waters?
Law clerk or other person, paralegal?
He'd let a paralegal go. All he wants is the name of the person, and you're more than happy. And he said he's not going to limit you to 3 hours. They can stay 8 hours if they want. He will make a conference room available so he could see the material. It does not have to be a lawyer. Okay, that.
Your Honor, I spoke with the director of Federal Counsel this morning, and they expressed the same thing. We're here to facilitate the defense doing that.
Right. I want him to have all this discovery. He's entitled to all of it. It's safety concerns. It's.
Your Honor, 100%.
If you can have a law clerk or a paralegal go down, then you're satisfied, Mr. Harpelian, that'll help you out?
It will dramatically, we're not limited to 3 hours. It makes that 2.5 hour trip down, 2.5 hour back worthwhile.
Okay. Well, then I will verify that and send y'all an email tomorrow on that. That's okay. All right, perfect.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Now, let me go through. I had a motion.
And that's it. They just don't want to do all that traveling. I can understand that, but it did everything that I had read before this, is that was the motion, is that he wanted that laptop in his cell. And I think he probably did, but they realized that they weren't going to get that.
Filed for the defense, and I just want to put this on the record. The defense wanted the defendant to be unshackled in the courtroom. I received a response from the state. They objected. Then I had a response from Mr. Harpelian where he withdrew that motion. That still stands, Mr. Harpelian?
Yes, Your Honor, although we may renew the motion, the reason for this is potential jurors will.
I did not hear that. Okay, so did you hear that? They denied his request to wear regular street clothes in court. So that surprised me, because I have not. This is the first time I watched it. I've been trying not to watch it so I could watch it with everyone
Watching this right now. But it's going to be, wherever this goes, it's going to be difficult to get a jury. And to the extent that parading him around in a jumpsuit shackled like an animal impacts their view, it's going to make it more difficult for us to get a jury. Now, again, Mr. Waters' argument is specious. He's not dangerous. He's only thing he's convicted of stealing money. Now, Judge Newman let him come to the courtroom in street clothes and unshackled. I know Mr. Waters feels compelled to get every advantage he can, but this is one that I think this is our ability to get a jury. So I would ask that he be allowed to come in the courtroom unshackled in, I will call them street clothes. Now,
So are you renewing your motion now?
Oh, so he renews the motion again. Okay. So, but yeah, I mean, I am actually surprised because it's supposed to be new jury, new chances, new everything. But I mean, I have to have faith in people that something like that is not going to change their mind. It's going to be the evidence, right?
Just want to make sure.
what I wanted you to see today is this. I mean, chained around the waist, chained with the hands, chained on the feet. I mean, this guy is not a serial killer. He's not, Ted Bundy.
You could sit down this morning.
What did he say? He's not Ted Bundy. My stupid dehumidifier turned on. Hi, Untamable. Good to see you, hun. That's what, when I'm done here, I've got to go make the rest of dinner so that we can get ready. Because I am going to, and we're supposed to have one more thunderstorm, I think, like around 7:30. And then it's supposed to clear up, and we are going to, which is good because we've been really dry lately out here because of the heat. And our neighbors are supposed to be doing a big fireworks show. They collect money every year. And one of the guys down the road went and got certified. So like they're the big uns. So I don't know if we're going to try and sit on the porch or if we're going to go down to the little cemetery down the road, because we can park in there too and watch it. So I'm going to do that tonight, guys. And I know everybody's like, oh no, everybody's got fireworks. Kept seeing all over Facebook today, like, please don't share your fireworks. But you know what? There are some people that don't get out of their house, that don't have a bunch of people to go hang out with tonight. And so I'm going to show my fireworks. And so if somebody doesn't like them, then they can just not watch them. But I'm proud. I showed you my parade. I'm proud of my little town. So, I will. It's going to be fun. My oldest is at his dad's tonight, but my youngest is all excited. He's all ready for the fireworks. So, my granddad used to tell that joke, Mark.
And how was he accused of killing his wife and son? But he was accused of killing his wife and son, and Judge Newman allowed him to come unshackled in his street clothes every hearing we had.
All right, Mr. Waters, I did read your response, but I'll be happy to hear anything and I'll take it under advisement.
Well, again, they withdrawn the motion and now they. This goes back to, it's not the state's fault. He's an inmate serving a 27-year sentence, okay? This is, again, SCDC's policy for non-jury court to have to be dressed out in the restraints. He's not only facing 27 years, but an additional 40 years in federal court, and he's also indicted for a double murder. So this is a basic security consideration. Again, the intent is not to prejudice anyone. The intent is the security of every time someone is transported out of court. It is a security risk. And the first two goals of any escape attempt is to become unrestrained and in civilian clothes. So I'm here to represent what is basic policy and procedure for inmates serving long felonious sentences with SCDC. I completely understand that we have a jury, the calculations are different, and that is going to be a different thing to do. The remedy for all of that ultimately is our process. It's going to be jury selection, and it's going to be instruction from the court, which the jurors are going to follow, and which I know our citizens can.
Yes. Judge Newman allowed him to go in street clothes every day and be unshackled. But the difference was that he was not a convicted, what did they say? He was not a convicted murderer yet. He had been convicted of the financial crimes, but I don't know if he had been sentenced yet when this trial started. I'm gonna have to look that up. I can't remember if those dates kind of went back and forth, and but I know that was one of the things in one of the discussions that I was reading, was that that's part of the difference. Is he had just said, like, it's about what do you call it? It's about like the security. So no other inmate would be allowed to leave the prison unshackled or leave the court back and forth. And so, yep, exactly. I mean, that's part of now. Speaking of that, what's funny is now we talked about that Linda Sturmer the other night, the one that lit her house on fire. Now she, even though she was on appeal and had already been convicted, but she hadn't been convicted of other crimes too. But she had already been convicted. This was her appeal hearing or her retrial. She was allowed to dress in street clothes, and like she had a sweater on every day. She had her hair done. She had a purse, which shocked me. So, well, he's lucky it's not. What's that one guy in Arizona that Sheriff Joe used to make everybody wear pink? He could be in pink.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'll take it under advisement, and I'll issue an order on that. Let me move on to the DNA. Again, I just received the state's response yesterday at 5 p.m. I read it, and I'm going to save it for the next pre-trial because this is what I want to know. I'd like to know how long, Mr. Griffin, it's going to take to analyze exactly what it is you're asking for. And I believe it's genetic.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ooh, I wonder. I know you're probably just listen. I wonder if they found supposedly unknown male DNA under Maggie's fingernails, and they want that to be let in, or that analysis. But there was some question about whether or not it was the person that did her nails or not, because she just gotten her nails done that day.
And the state's response says, give us somebody to talk to at the lab.
Okay.
So
And
that was conveyed to them this morning. The CEO of Othram's name, email, and telephone number. They have received the VP of Law
Absolutely.
Enforcement Division at Othram, his cell phone number, and the client intake person that we use now, that I've been interfacing with. And they will be better able to answer specifically how long it will take. We've agreed to pay for it. And just background information.
And he does. There's I was looking for pictures and stuff for my thumbnail, and I just thought, God, he's just so cringe. He read the room. I can't imagine smiling through any of this, you know? He just is gross.
I'll let you pay for it.
Yeah. And these murders happened in 2021. We're in 2026. 2021, there's no such thing as artificial intelligence. In 2021, this genetic genealogy was just on the ground floor. In 2026, we are light years ahead. And so what we're asking for didn't really exist in 2021. It does exist today, and Othram is the leading lab that performs this analysis. They did last year on 2024, the statistics are that they cleared 200 cold cases on behalf of law enforcement around the United States and the country. They work with.
And am I correct? This is something else I'm going to have to look up. Othram. They were at CrimeCon, but I believe they are also the ones that did they do the Idaho 4 stuff? Yeah, see, that's what I don't understand. I don't think so. This was something that I didn't remember from the first trial, her having male DNA under. There's a lot of stuff that I thought had already been answered, because they also, during that civil suit, when they did the press conference, accused them of not having any cell phone data. And I thought that was one of the clinchers, was Maggie's phone and being able to see its motion and it tumbling. So I've got that guy's testimony. I found a lot of the testimony that we can go back through, and yeah. Their voices are burned in our brains. Well, that's I think too. I'm really surprised that they stuck with him through this. I mean, because this has got to be just, and that's the thing, when they're talking about doing all those drives and everything, they've got to pay for that. That's all billable hours, and if there's no money, then yikes.
Law enforcement every day. The most high-profile case they did was at the University of Idaho, the Moscow, Idaho murders that took place.
Yep, that's what I thought. They figured that out. That's how they found Brian Kohlberger.
About the first week of our trial, college kids were massacred in a house at the University of Idaho. They had a DNA sample. They ran through CODIS. Came up nothing. There was nothing. The state of Idaho Police Department, like SLED, had a contract with Othram. They sent the test Othram. Othram does this genetic genealogy DNA analysis, and it comes back to a family member who'd done a DNA test, ancestry test, of the person who committed these murders, Brian Kohlberger. That's how they solved the Moscow murder cases, was through Othram lab. The difference between, and they say they don't have enough samples to get through CODIS, and I've talked to the lab about that, and that's not an issue. CODIS uses analysis called STR. This analysis is SNP, and they call it SNPs. CODIS has 20 data points. SNPs has 500,000 data points that they analyze. Now, it takes a while to do that. And so, we're going to have to see what the lab says. They've asked me to get information from SLED as to, they like to see the electropherogram or mixture proportions so they can have a better handle on it.
Hi, Nadia. Good to see you, girl. Yeah. That judge would go after you. And that's Othram too. I thought that's what they were talking about. They sent that, what was it? The hair in Nancy Guthrie, in the Nancy Guthrie case. And something, then when they were talking about that familial DNA, that's what this Othram does. And they have this database where CODIS just goes through, I believe, like the criminal database. This Othram has like databases from all over. So even if, like with Brian Kohlberger, it was someone in I think his father did like that 23andMe or something like that, and they were able to find Brian through I thought it was his father, doing like an ancestry DNA kind of a thing.
And I'd ask Mr. Waters to give us a name so that these experts can interface. But what they're doing in Houston, Texas, they don't do in South Carolina at the SLED lab. And there are handfuls of labs around the country.
Well, I don't think you have, I would say you don't have to be so much as smart as you have to be convincing. You have to be a salesman. Because that's something that I remember one of my uncles saying, like, it's not about your client being guilty or innocent. He always said he didn't want to know if someone was guilty or innocent. He wanted to take the facts and be able to defend his client the best way he could. And if he knew any of that, then he couldn't do that.
And they are, they're certified. They work with law enforcement. I don't know that they've worked specifically with SLED. They're familiar with SLED when I spoke with them, but they have a whole division.
So you need an expert's name or whoever has this sample to see if there's a viable sample that you can send.
Correct. And they can work with the extract that SLED used when they did their STR analysis. Okay. They can work with that out there. They told me, but
Mr. Waters, can you give him a name so he can move forward?
That's what I put in my motion, Your Honor, is please give us a name, and I'm happy to have SLED reach out and talk to them about what their supposed capabilities and proposals are and any procedures. And
I'm on Bubba the dog's side. That's whose side I'm on.
been made privy to that information. I'm happy to discuss those with the defense. If for whatever reason we can't agree, we'll come back before the court. That's precisely what I put in my motion is let's talk to them, let the experts talk so that my experts can hear, what it is that they propose to do. And I'm happy to consider.
And I gave him 3 names and contact information this morning, and I've asked a name that I can send back to my folks. I do want to address this red herring argument.
Oh, that's so funny. I got those little drumstick, they're cones, and they have like dark chocolate in them. First time I ever tried one. Oh my gosh, it was so good. But I had to put them in the cupboard because I was sitting there. I kept going back and getting them. So I'm like, I have to put them up in the cupboard and I have to go in the other room and leave them alone.
The DNA that we're talking about, Your Honor, came from Maggie Murdaugh's left fingernails. That was tested by SLED with this STR analysis. The DNA sample number 70 that we're asking to be tested, it positively was not Alec Murdaugh's. Any of the other folks who they took buccal swabs from went through a long list, not them, except for one potential. And that potential, the ultimate result was it's 11 times more an unknown male, so they know it's a male, than it was this person. That's how they do things in their DNA analysis. And Mr. Waters said, well, there's no evidence of struggle, but there was a shell casing under Maggie Murdaugh's body from the gun that killed her. I mean, that shell casing and that gun had to be in very close proximity. Maggie Murdaugh's cell phone was missing from the crime scene. Was DNA transferred at that point in time? And so we don't think it's a red herring. We think it's very important. Now, it may turn out to be, innocuous. We don't know, but it's worth looking into.
Okay, I haven't said no. This is what I do want you to do, though, Mr. Griffin. I want to know how long it's going to take to analyze.
Exactly. That's what I think. I think it's probably, because I thought that's why they didn't deal with it in the first place, is because it's most likely from whoever did her nails. Sorry, I had to do that curve before I could start talking again. Oh, you can't. I don't know if you can see me. I'm trying to get this right up in
What it is that you're asking for. And even if I expedite it, I'd like to know how long it's going to take. And I'd also like to know if there's even a viable sample that they can get. And we will discuss this at our next pretrial. Anything, Mr. Waters, you're going to give them the name of the person at SLED that he can get in contact with. Let's see if there's a viable sample.
And the lab has told me if there's not a viable sample, we'll tell you that. But
right.
they work with a lot less than.
Okay. Well, let's start with that. Let's make sure we get a viable sample, and then we'll go forward. And we're going to go forward at the next pretrial. I promise you, the pretrial is not going to be that far away. All right. Let me move on to the motion for change of venue. The defense filed a change of venue motion. The state has not had the opportunity to answer yet. So I'm going to give them time. In the meantime, before our next pretrial, if at all possible, if y'all agree on a change of venue, please give me some suggestions if y'all can agree on it. If you can't, make your own suggestions, and then I will decide for you if we go that route.
Even in spite of the acrimony here today, Mr. Waters has been able to talk to each other, and we have already talked about this. I think we'll have continuing discussions And depending on who you set your pre-trial,
An answer for me?
try, if I don't have to keep driving down.
Yes, Your Honor. Of course, without taking a specific position right now, I
Right.
our feeling this morning that, we can kick some things around. And like you just said, if we agree, great. If we don't, then of course we'll decide.
That's right. Don't have a problem with that. Okay, perfect. All right, now let me address, I see Mr. McCullough sitting out there, and then I also have another, they're both the same protective order, but they're wanting two different things.
Ours is not the same.
That's right, they're two different things. Right.
There's that guy with the white hair. Do you remember him from the first trial? He was in one of the documentaries. Can't remember his name.
As far as, but I think before we go there, Mr. Harpootlian, I believe, Mr. Waters, am I correct in stating that you're working on a response to both of these? There might be some redactions that you wanted, and you're going to submit that to the court? Okay, and I'll be able to address that at the next pretrial conference.
Again, we are generally in favor of those being unsealed, but they will have to be done judiciously and with appropriate redactions to preserve their identities and actions.
Right, because I did, yeah, and I did receive something from SLED, an email from SLED.
General Counsel Adam Whitson, who's present here today, and SLED.
Where is he? Okay, I did receive your email, and just get me an answer on that, and we'll decide at the next pretrial then. Okay, those were all my bullet points. So let me ask the lawyers, did I miss something? Is there something you would like to add?
One thing Your Honor had mentioned is the location of pretrial hearings. And from the state's perspective, we're happy to come wherever Your Honor happens to be and for the property.
Okay.
And we're more than happy to come wherever you are, although this reduction of these hearings might not dictate, but certainly suggest we come to a venue like Washington County, where there's plenty of room and get an extraordinary accommodation everybody is.
I think they've done a really good job with security and with the press and being organized. And this is my home county. Let me just ask and throw this out there. Mr. Waters, is there any objection if we hold pretrial here? The reason being, we have a big courtroom. I already have security set in place. I think the clerks and both clerks and security have done a really good job. This is not the only courtroom in this courthouse, so I won't disrupt holding court in Lexington, which I would not want to do to any county. Sometimes I go to really small counties and I don't think it would be good hold a pretrial there. Does it suit?
I mean, from the state's perspective, and again, being a longtime AG, I've been in pretty much all of them. And as an AG, Lexington is like a second home, obviously.
Convenient.
Solicitors, obviously, law enforcement, the court, of course, is very accommodating here. So this is certainly, I think, would be of most convenience for parties as we get ready for the winter months.
Okay, it's not far for anybody to travel, Mr. Harpootlian? Okay, then I will try to make sure that when we arrange these pretrials that we will try to be here in Lexington. Anything?
Yeah, there's actually somebody that does. I'll try and find them. We'll do that like on one of the nights. It's like a good laugh after a hard story, but they animated clips from the Darrell Brooks trial, and they took and used characters in the style of South Park characters, And oh yeah, Jennifer Darrow. Yep, Judge Darrow. She was awesome. She was awesome. I loved her. She's my favorite judge ever.
Anything else, Mr. Waters?
I believe that's it from the state.
Defense?
Your Honor, that's all we have, but if we could talk about that schedule for the next pretrial.
Oh, I'm getting ready for it right now. Let me tell you what I have. I've gone through my calendar. And so it's hard to get lawyers together, especially when I have this many lawyers. So let me throw some dates out to you. August the 13th and the 14th. July 29th, the 30th, or the 31st.
Your Honor, so in chronological order, the first would be
July 29th.
I'm scheduled to be out of state with that, from the 29th through the 31st.
Okay.
Oh, she was. And she made sure, like, a lot of people kept saying, like, oh, like, you know, she's so tough. She's so, like, detail oriented. She did that because she wanted to make sure that if he ever tried to come up for appeal, that man was never going to see the light of day, because he was just, that's the epitome of a monster, you know? And oh, I had such respect for her after that. I guess she had like 5 girls too, 5 daughters. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, she's got 5 girls that she probably had to get off to school and do all that stuff. And then she's still walking in that courtroom looking like Wonder Woman. I mean, with that long dark hair and phew. But see, she's from Wisconsin and it's cold there. So I think it's like Michigan, like our skin lasts better out here because we're preserved all winter.
Then let me move on to August 13th and 14th.
Your Honor, we have a mediation on the 13th. The 14th is available. Yes, sir.
14th works for the state, Your Honor.
August the 14th it is. That will be our next pretrial. Now, with that said, I'd like to have all motions by August the 7th, if I could. I like to read my motions. I like to be prepared. So if I could have your motions, I understand that some of them are late. You might think of something at the last minute, that's fine, but please don't file something at 10 o'clock at night and expect me to rule on it in the morning, okay?
I apologize for those coming in late.
No, you're fine.
I came into the office just to make sure we had something out there.
Mr. Waters, you're fine. I was not planning on ruling on those motions.
She did, and that's something that like I've never seen. I mean, and I know we haven't seen everything, but I've never seen someone behave that way. I mean, you know, I watch this channel called Midwest Safety, and it's shows like state police pulling over vehicles. And so, you know, you got the travelers, the sovereign citizens and stuff, and they do look at things differently. But like, I've never seen someone act like that. Just ridiculous. Oh, he did. He made history in court. He made history in that parade. And for those people the next year to still put that parade on, I thought was just just brave, beyond brave.
Now, had I been, I might say something different, but please don't do that to me, okay? Now, let's talk about a trial date. The only other information I would like to know is how long this DNA is going to take. I would like to know that, but I'm going to tell y'all, I'm thinking April the 5th. And this being, I'm trying to get through Easter, and I know how hard it is to pick a jury when you've got spring break. That's usually right before Easter. It is the March. Is it the 28th? I think it's just the week. It's March 28th. So I'm thinking April 5th. I know that we'll have a new attorney general coming in. Mr. Harpootlian has already told me it's going to take 6 months to get experts prepared and ready to go. That would give the new attorney general time to look at his case in case he's going to be here and join us. And let me tell you this, tell both of y'all, I think y'all know me pretty well. When I set a trial date, I don't do continuances. I don't do it. Better be a really good reason. So, how
Oh, did you hear that? She does not do continuances. So basically, have your poop in a group when you get here, or you're just out of luck. And that's something that we've seen a lot of in the true crime community, is some of these cases that should have been over and done with in a couple weeks last months and months and months, because they keep having all these continuances, all these little stupid motions just to muck up the process and to take time. And I like that. She's not messing around. Yeah, she's not going to let this become a circus. And it's just a game to gain more time,
does April the 5th sound, Mr. Waters?
Yes, ma'am. So we'll be ready.
Mr. Harpootlian?
We'll be ready with some contingencies if the DNA takes longer, for instance, or. Yes, ma'am. So we'll be ready.
Mr. Harpootlian? I don't do it. Better be a really good reason. So, how does April the 5th sound, Mr. Waters?
Yes, ma'am. So we'll be ready.
Mr. Harpootlian?
We'll be ready with some contingencies if the DNA takes longer, for instance, or.
I will have that information by next pretrial. If I need to extend it out a couple of weeks, I will, if that's the case. Please do not think that this case is going to be tried a year later, because it's not. We're going forward.
Your Honor, we're more than happy with that. Mr. Murdaugh is more than happy with that. I just, again, DNA will involve everything, like, because the science in all these areas is much better than it was 5 years ago.
I understand. Technology changes overnight. Overnight, I understand. Mr. Griffin, anything you'd like to add?
Yes, Your Honor. The Supreme Court reversed this case on misconduct by clerk of court, but the Supreme Court also addressed financial crimes evidence, and depending on how much of that or any of that comes in, will determine the length of the trial in many respects. Judge Newman last time would not rule pretrial on that issue, and it is going to be an issue that we're going to have to brief and argue with Your Honor as to, we don't think any of the financial crime evidence should come in at trial. And so I'm just flagging that it would be helpful to us, I believe, and to know if we're going to have to defend against that during the trial, or are they going to be able to put it up. And so I'm just asking maybe some earlier date where we can have, Your Honor, address those issues.
We will. I'm just going to tell you, I like to address all pretrial matters beforehand, because when I say April the 5th, we're picking a jury and going forward. All those issues should be decided by then.
Your Honor, that's my practice as well. We filed extensive pretrial motions prior to the prior trial, laying all our cards on the table. It's exactly why we thought that was admissible.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Anything further before we adjourn, Mr. Waters? And Mr. Harpootlian?
Nothing for the defense.
All right, perfect. Have a good evening.
And boom, that's it. So April 5th, we've got our trial date, and she's not messing around. You start that day, or get in the car, sit down, shut up, let's go. And I'm just, like I said, I'm really surprised that they came back this time. But this is going to be one for, it's going to be history making. I mean, he thought he had it set in Carleton County where his family had ruled the roost for all those years. I remember them talking about before the trial having to prepare and take down his great grandfather's picture out of the courtroom. I think Judge Newman was talking about that. I mean, imagine that. Nobody that I'm related to's picture's ever going to be up in a courtroom that I'm in, and I think he thought that, but see, that's the thing too. You have these men now that are, this man that was this powerhouse in his life, his father was sick, and he pass away? Was it the day after? Thought it was the day after the shootings or shortly thereafter, because they had the funeral for he and Paul together. And Maggie, I thought they had all of their funerals together. But yeah, so next week I am going to, said I've got the testimony from the dad expert, which some of it's kind of put you in a coma, but so we'll just kind of fast forward through some of that. But some of it is really good. It really is interesting how our how all of our phones and everything track everything. And just because something's off doesn't have signal doesn't mean it still doesn't have a bunch of information to kind of help see its digital footprint that it's leaving. Oh, I'm saying, well, and that's the thing too. Is I remember last trial, it was an election year for old Dick Harpootlian. Now they are talking about the with the attorney general, and that I think is what the district attorney in this case is running for. So that's been kind of some of the gossip is he talking about going for the death penalty and all of that to kind of prove his strength in his position that he's trying to get elected to. So is it all just fluff and show, or so yeah, it is. Again, there's a lot of changing of the guard going on. There's change of venue, change of judge, all this. So yeah, it's gonna be, and like I said, I cannot wait to listen to the crime scene expert guy. He is, and when you see, if you're not familiar with this case, that is a day. Please look out for that live, because the reenactment that the defense team has on how Maggie and Paul were shot is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's comical that they would literally think that people would believe that someone would get in these angles to be able to do what they did to Paul and Maggie that night. And it seems pretty cut and dry to me. Someone was either riding by in the golf cart that was out there or walking by, and I don't think Paul ever saw it coming, or maybe not, at least till the last second. I know, see, rich, just that's how you do it. Everybody has to wear orange on the defense side, and then it doesn't seem out of place, right? Oy. Oh, well, I think I didn't do too badly on our Tino. Where'd he go? Where's Tino? And put Tino up again.
So today for the holiday, I'm making a Star Bangle inspired set, and it's gonna be drippies. So I start out with a drip pattern and paint it white on the bottom half of the tips. Now use red art gel and we are going to make a red and white pattern on the tips. On the nail bed, I am outlining it with ultramarine art gel. And then after outlining it, I am going to color in the whole things. Now first I matte everything, then you shine the top coat to show.
Now, see, I feel like I worked smarter, not harder, when I did my little thingamabobs. My drips aren't as long as his are. And I didn't have a cherry. I didn't have that gel. I had a strawberry, so that's what we got.
Done just the blue to create contrast between the two colors. And I use white art gel to paint the stars because art gel can go with our top coat if you apply thin enough. And of course, we are painting Jerry on these fingers. The stem is ultramarine blue and we use in clear embossed jelly to make the Jerry pop. This is a fun set for July 4th, you guys. And check out the pinky. It's like an ice cream where it have red and blue detail on it. Happy July 4th, everyone. So today for the
Happy July 4th, Tino Vo. He cracks me up. I don't know if he actually talks like that or not, but you're absolutely fine, Palm Queen. No, this was just a listen and chill, and that's what I've got to do too in a few minutes. I got to finish up dinner because we're going to eat in a few minutes, and I got to grill some chicken, and I've got to frost my cake. I made one of those Jell-O poke cakes where you oh, thank you. See, I forgot again. Thank you, Mark. Where you make the vanilla cake, and then my little guy got to poke holes in it with the wooden spoon. And then you pour strawberry Jell-O over it, stick it in the fridge, and then to frost it, it's whipped cream and fresh strawberries and blueberries. So I cannot wait until it's time for cake. And then we're doing taco salad. They wanted taco salad and a fruit salad, so we've got that for dinner. And so you got your veggies, your meat, you got everything in one bowl. So I'm going to go up and chop up some avocados and grill some chicken, and frost my cake, and then I will be back when we go do the fireworks. So, yeah. So, all right. Thanks, everybody, for coming in and hanging out, and do what Mark says. Please hit the thumbs up and hit that subscribe for me. I really appreciate it. And if I don't see you later, happy 4th of July. Happy 250th birthday, America. Because it's about us, not about all those rich guys in Washington that don't have to pay the bills and all the fun stuff that we have to do. So yeah. So everybody, and like I said, and again, if I don't see you too, have a safe holiday. I want everybody, remember, we're in the nail business. We need 10 fingers and 10 toes when we come back next time, okay? Because we got some fun stuff to do. Oh, that sounds good too. I've got some taco shells too. Mark will probably put his stuff in because my driver's his name is Mark too. By the way, Mark. He'll probably put his in taco shells. I've got some of those too. And so yay. Yeah. And thank you for coming in, Warrior Princess and Mark and Palm Queen and Untamable and Nadia and everybody that came in today. I missed anybody. Yes, or Taylor Swift. Woo! Hey, I don't drink, but cheers. I will have my my red Kool-Aid. That's what I'll have tonight. So so all right, guys. Everybody have a great night, and please, yeah, check back with me later. Be after dark. I am in the Eastern time zone, so probably in the next 2.5, 3 hours. I think they're going to start like right around 9:30, 10 o'clock. So that'll be about 2.5 to 3 hours my time from now. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace, love, and claws, y'all. Bye.